Have you ever wanted to be lost in the desert? Have you ever wanted to wander aimlessly in 140-degree heat?
I can safely say no.
This is Uplands VR.
And you have to do that.
And you have to do that. Hey guys, this is Crypto Spook.
And this is Moriarty, and that does not sound appealing to me at all.
So, you have done that?
I haven't done that, but I've certainly heard stories of people who have done that. There was a fantastic story, there was a story of a guy who went hiking in Death Valley. He took like 4 gallons of water, and he was found 100 feet away from his car, and he'd lost 35 pounds in water weight.
Holy crap, how the heck did he lose 35 pounds?
35 pounds of water weight because he was so dehydrated, even after having drank 4 gallons of water, because he went running in Death Valley in that kind of heat.
That doesn't make any sense. And so he just stopped 100 feet from his car?
They think he saw his car and said, "Oh, I'll take a break now," and sat down and died.
So that's really depressing.
Yeah.
I didn't know he died. That's terrible.
Yeah.
So, what's going on in this game is apparently you were driving in your nice little Ford Mondeo Escort, whatever this thing is. It's like a Focus ZX hatchback or something. And I mean, it's not a bad looking car. I was looking at it. I kind of like it, you know? It's got rims, it's got BBS or Brembo brakes on it. It's got a nice exhaust system. The problem is the engine has gone two-dimensional.
I did see that the first thing you did was try to fix your car.
I wanted to fix it, and I was like, okay, well, it's two-dimensional, I'm not fixing that. And I was like, okay, well, at least let me move my car out of the middle of the road.
Or close the door so it doesn't get clipped.
Yeah, I'm like, somebody's gonna steal my freaking car, man. How am I just gonna abandon this in the middle of the desert for hobos to find?
Well, how many hobos are in the middle of the desert, though?
You know, you never know about the wily desert hobo until you're his next victim.
That's true, I guess.
I mean, the wily desert hobo is unknown for good reason.
I see. So he's a rare? I don't even know.
So this game is a escape type game, but they built more of a character story. They put more story into this game than you usually see with the escape type games. Usually it's just, hey, you're in the room, you better figure out how to get out. And with this one, they built a story around it, and they did some neat stuff, and they tried to make it look as good as possible.
So what would you say is wrong with this car?
I would say that for some reason, it seems like probably the alternator has like the leads on the alternator caught on fire. That's where I imagine the smoke would be coming from.
I think what happened is it turned 2D.
Well, yeah, that's the obvious answer to the problem, but then, I mean, who knows, you know?
I think that if you were to open up your hood and your engine had turned 2D, you would immediately know what the problem was.
Well, yeah, you know, your quantum disentanglement machine somehow rendered everything 2D, which is unfortunate, but that's one of the dangers of quantum disentanglement. So you find this town eventually called the Uplands Motel, and you have to find somebody because...
Wait, I'm sorry, the town is called the Uplands Motel?
Actually, no. The town had a different name that was on the billboard, but I don't care because the only thing there was a little gas station and a motel and some trailers. I mean, I guess it did have a different name, but I don't care about it.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify, because you said you came to a town called the Uplands Motel.
Okay, no, that's just the biggest landmark.
Okay, alright, I understand now.
So this game seems to have been voice acted by a German and his random European nondescript friend.
Just nondescript European, could be from any country from Switzerland to France, Spain.
I mean, I could hazard a guess, but at the I could possibly sound terrible and stupid doing that, so I'm just gonna say nondescript European country, A.
Okay, alright. I noticed that this guy has the smallest face in the world.
Oh, yeah. His character model is, for some reason, based off of somebody that was inbred with, their parents were a lot closer than a brother and sister should be. Do you know what I mean?
Excellent. And it turns out this is the developer and his best friend actually putting themselves into the game.
Oh, well, that's awkward then. Sorry about that, Mr. Dev.
I don't know if that's true, but the guy's face looks really tiny, and he's standing way too far back against the wall. It's kind of creepy, actually.
Yeah, I had an issue staring at the little block to talk to this guy. It was the hardest thing. I had to, put a crick in my neck to get the little blob that says, look here, to notice that I was looking there.
I also noticed that this guy has somehow put a dumpster inside of his building. that it would not actually fit through the door.
It won't fit through the door. I don't know how it got in there either. That's why I wanted to see if there's anything in it. I'm like, did they, like, build this building to house the dumpster? Did they not plan on getting the dumpster out?
Did they build it around the dumpster?
This was a dumpster building, and then they were like, hey, we can sell gas too.
Ah! God, this guy's creepy!
Look at him. Look at his face. Like, it's like randomly sunburned in some spots as well. And it's like super tiny.
But more concerning is that he just showed up behind you without any sound. He closed the door and just stood there staring at your back.
And he looked mad too. He was upset.
Considering how he was able to close that door without it squeaking. It's creepy. He's the creepiest guy I've ever seen in VR.
He is creepy. He's a very strange little man.
He's the creepiest guy, and you've played horror games.
Okay, maybe I take that back. He's not the creepiest guy. He's definitely the strangest looking gentleman.
I'm still gonna say he's the creepiest guy. This is a really disgusting room.
Right? Look at the bed. It's unmade for one, and it's nasty. There's not even any pillows.
There's no pillows in this hotel. We don't believe in pillows. They bring too much comfort to people.
Pillows are a tool of the devil, son.
Right?
Comfort? If you're comfortable, that means the devil's working on you.
So the whole point of this game is to kind of do the escape room stuff, but to have more room to do it in. So you're trying to do puzzles and things like that, but not in a tiny little room.
Yeah, the problem is, like, I was trying to go all Skyrim on this game and, like, you know, steal stuff and, like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pick up all this stuff. This looks like it's gonna be useful. Like, the screwdriver I had to grab for the guy. I tried to pick that up before I got in that room, and it was like, no, you can't touch this. And then I got in there, and he's like, hey, go get me a screwdriver. I'm like, oh, son of a bee.
Okay, so it is an escape the room, but unfortunately you can't do things out of order. I don't know if I can agree with that design decision.
It's a relatively scripted game. It's a squeaky door simulator.
Squeaky door simulator. Wow, and they are really loud squeaky doors, too.
Yeah. So being terribly hungry, I decided to get a sandwich. Got back to my room, and I could hear a struggle going on somewhere around me, but I couldn't quite identify where.
Did you eat the sandwich?
I tried to eat the sandwich, yes. And then I tried to microwave the sandwich, and that didn't work either.
So you just held a sandwich?
Yep. And then Creepy McCreeper guy came over and knocked on my door. Like, completely didn't even see me as I'm staring at him out the window.
I've never been in a hotel room that you had to use a key to get out of.
That's only for high-class hotel rooms, I assure you. You can tell because they'll charge you by the hour.
This guy's face appears to change every time you see him.
Right? Look at his, like, I think he wears sunglasses pretty regularly.
You should learn to do laundry. Just once.
And then he kind of, like, underhand hits you in the chest area with a hammer. Claw end first, which is terrible. And that incapacitates you, and then begins your escape.
I see. Okay. So this is where the game actually really begins.
Yeah, that was, like, the longest intro ever.
I dig it. It shows you how to play the game, gives you an idea of what you're doing, kind of teaches you stuff. So what do you think overall of Uplands Motel?
It needs a little bit more polish, and if they can get that and fix some of the locomotion issues and fix some of the sound issues and a couple of the character issues in the game and the model issues, then they could have a pretty entertaining game on their hands here. As it is, it's not unentertaining, it's just not very immersive. You know what I mean?
I appreciate the fact that they made a game that is still an escape room, which is so very common in VR, but they did it differently, which I really, really like. I appreciate the fact that this isn't just another escape the room. It actually has a little bit of a plot and a storyline there, and it has more than one location, and it shows how you get in the room in the first place. I really like that a lot. It gives you a motivation for wanting to get out. I like what they're doing here. I agree with you, it needs a little bit more polish, but as with most of these indie VR games, it's probably only 2 or 3 people.
That said, I think they did a really good job based off of, you know, a 2-person studio.
It looks great. I think you should pick it up. It's only $8.
I think that $8 is not a bad price for this game, but I would certainly wait for a sale, and if you see it on sale, definitely pick it up.
So there you go, guys. That's Uplands Motel. Let us know what you think of the idea of having an escape room VR game that isn't just an escape room. I think it's a neat idea, but let me know what you think. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. Don't forget to subscribe, check out the Patreon, and as always,
we'll see you on the next one.